Hi, and welcome to another weekly UFO recap. I've been working on my Flying Dutchman quilt, and I'm going to go through how I got to this point. So let's jump right in. This UFO already had 5 blocks sewn, so I already had a good start. But it was this odd number of blocks, plus the fact that I was out of the light paisley and the dark blue star fabric, that this one earned a spot on the UFO list. I'd originally planned to make this a baby quilt with 9 blocks, but trying to come up with a color combo to match 2 blue blocks and 3 purple blocks was more than I wanted to decide on at the time. So this got put aside, and that's how it made it onto the UFO list. I even made a few other Flying Dutchman quilts and gave them away as charity gifts, while this one stared at me on the design wall. For me at the time, it was easier to make a brand new quilt than try to figure out how to merge these blocks with new fabrics. But now that the random generator picked this UFO for me to work on, it was time to make that decision. Last Tuesday, I took the time and pulled a few fabrics that I thought would work well. And then on Wednesday, I grabbed a few more to play with. With a focus on the additional fabrics, I was able to pick out a few that I liked and focus on the layout. And with that, all the discomfort that got this quilt on the UFO list was gone. I was excited and ready to start cutting things out. I decided to make this quilt a little bit bigger. I decided to go with 12 blocks, 6 purple blocks, and 6 blue blocks. With this idea, I was able to split things evenly, and that helped things out in my mind. I already had 3 purple blocks, so I picked 1 purple and a light blue fabric to make 3 more purple blocks. For the blue, I already had 2 old blocks, so I picked 2 different lights and 2 different dark blues to create 4 more blocks. So for the blue blocks, I had 2 old blocks, 2 with dark stars, and 2 with dark paisley stars. I like this idea better than having 2 old blocks and 4 new blocks, so I split it in 2, 2, and 2. On Thursday, I spent my 15 minutes cutting out all the white fabric, and on Friday, I paired it with the purple and the blue fabrics, and I knocked out all my flying geese. These geese are the heart of the project, and I enjoyed sewing them and putting them in piles and playing with them. They were a lot of fun. By Saturday, I had all the geese sewn into pairs, which creates a quarter of the block. Once those were done, it was fast to sew them into blocks. You start sewing things into pairs, and every time you sew them into pairs, you have half the things you got to sew the next time, so it's really fast. On Sunday, it was hard to stop because I was on a roll and I was excited, but I had another project to work on, so I stopped right at 15 minutes, and I saved sewing the rows until Monday. There's a magical moment when you start attaching rows, and suddenly the whole thing feels like it's no longer just pieces of fabric. It's turning into a quilt. Again, I had to stop at my 15 minutes on Monday because I still had another project to work on, but those 15 minutes was enough time to get each block sewn into the row. On Tuesday, I spent my time working on the sashing. I got the cornerstones cut out and sewed some of those to the sashing bars, but they're not quite finished. But overall, it was a good week. I got all my blocks sewn into rows, and I just need to put that sashing in there. So next week, the goal is to fill in the sashing, add the borders, and I'll be ready for quilting. This has gone really quick. These 15 minutes a day are really getting a lot done. And I stuck to 15 minutes most days. There was one day where I spent 48 minutes, and that was sewing all the geese. I just wanted to knock those out. But the other days, I had to strictly stick to 15 minutes just because I had other things on my schedule. But I got pretty far, and I'm pretty excited about that. And there you have it. With another week of creativity, patience, and sewing, my Flying Dutchman quilt is on its way to becoming a finished project. And I'm really excited about the next steps, adding the borders, getting it quilted. It'd be fantastic to have another finish. Thanks so much for joining me on my UFO journey, and I can't wait to show you more next week. And if you've worked with lots of flying geese, I'd love to hear your thoughts or tips. Leave a comment below, and let's talk about quilting. And until next time, happy sewing.